I'm gonna take a quick little video on how to take off the header, how to replace the header, because I'm having to do so because there's a tiny little crack. I forgot where it was. I think I have to go under to go see it. All right, I think that's it right there. That little crack right there. There's one underneath it. It's not a tiny crack, but it's a big crack. But yeah, that's what I'm gonna have to go through, so might as well just take a video to help some people out. So I took off the heat shield, and it's held in by 4 12mm nut, or 3 12mm nut. That's almost here. I kind of have it wedged in right there. Try to take it through the bottom, but there's no way I can take it up to the bottom, so I have it like this, and I don't think it's gonna come out without taking the air intake off or this off. I'm most likely gonna take this off. This is just holding my 2 nuts right there. Pop it out. There's enough gap right there to take off the heat shield. So I stated earlier, take out these 2 10mm bolts from there, and then disconnect this hose. The heat shield should come right out with no effort, just like that. So initially, in order to take the heat shield out, there's 3 bolts right there, and they're 12mm, and they sit like this. And the toughest one is this little one at the front, because there's little to no space right there, and there's a little hose that runs. You can see there's 2 hoses. And if you have an extension on there, which I do, like this one, and you put this on top, it's not gonna fit. It's not gonna come loose if it's like that long. Versus, it's not gonna come loose if it's that long. Versus I'd use something like this one, which is a smaller one. If you have like a regular socket without an extension, it would come out easily. But at the same time, you can't use a wrench or a ratchet in there because it sits pretty tucked in like that. When you're taking off the 3 bolts of the heat shield, what you want to be aware of is they're hella rusted. Like all 3 of them, they're like rusted. Like, I want to say like rusted to the core, but like there's like surface rust like all on them. And I'm pretty sure like other cars are gonna be a lot worse than this one. But you want to be aware of this. Go gentle, and then put a BB blaster, like whatever. WD-40, whatever helps you break your nut loose and stuff like that. You just spray some on there and let it soak in. And you also want to do that to all these bolts too, because they have a high risk of having rusted out on them. And even the one that the new one that I bought, it came with 2 of these bolts, I believe, just in case they break. But for these, for the exhaust manifold, there's like there's 4 bolts on top. And 3 bolts on the bottom. Just taking a look at it. There's 1, 2, so they're evened out like from at the start. I think it's at the bottom. No, I think it's at the top. There's 4. Yeah, so they're from one corner, 1, 2, 3, and then all the way to the other side, just like how it sticks up. 5 bolts can be taken off from the top. These are. So the top most and the front most. Yeah, but those 5. The one sitting on the bottom, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and there should be 1 right below it, if I'm not wrong. Towards there, if you can see, 1 towards the back, so that's the 5. You can take it from the top, and now I'm gonna take the rest. Now I'm gonna try to see if I can take the rest from the bottom. So what I have to do is, I had to make room for my ratchet to get in there, so I took off the starter because I already bought an extra OEM starter. I mean, the OEM starter to replace it, so I just might as well knock it out in one go. So if you are planning on having to replace your manifold, might as well, if you haven't changed it out to the new OEM one, might as well do it, because I already recently changed it out for the time being. Got one for 50 bucks from the junkyard, but now I got the only one I'm gonna put it on, so it all works out pretty much in there. So now I'm gonna pretty much do the bottom one and we'll see how it goes. The extension that I've used to get the screws, or pretty much this is how long the socket is. I put my wiggle my hand in through here, and then all sorts of angles. So 2 ways my hand goes inside the way is through this gap little right here between the power steering, hydraulic fluid, and this little hose for the wire, I believe, or it could be the hydraulic fluid, I'm not sure. But yeah, it goes in through there, and then also goes in through here. And then the main way is, mainly everything goes in through here. Like I put the socket in there, and then the left hand, since I took up the cruise control, like these three are the main ways to get your hands inside there. So when you take off the starter, it really clears a lot of space, because this right here is for the starter. For the starter, it goes in there and clears up a lot of space to get all the other bolts, and those are easily taken off if you take off the starter. And in order to take off the starter, you need to take off this vacuum actuator or vacuum box or whatever. But yeah, if you take off the starter, you can easily get all the rest of the bolts out with the small ratchet set that I was using with 3/8. Easily you get that out. And then after you get that out, you gotta take off these 2 bolts right here, holding onto the catalytic converter or the manifold joints and get that white pipe, I think, yeah, white pipe. So that's one of the hardest tasks that I was having, is trying to, because there's no space to put, it takes a lot of pressure because it's rusted on there, and it takes a lot of pressure to get it on there. But the first time I was having is putting a breaker bar in there to get it loose. So I found out this one, you can put a breaker bar, you can put an extension there, and then you have a small gap right here between the frame and the fender, right there, where you can squeeze the brake bar in there and then break it loose, and then you can start loosening it up with a small 3/8 driver. And the other bolt was giving me a hard time, and I found out that if you use a really long extension like I have right now, it's a long extension like I have it set up right now, where it goes to the O2 sensor, right in between the 2 O2 sensor, right into the breaker bar. So just put a long, I got 2 extensions on there, and then it should break loose. And it took a little effort, even with this long setup. It took a little kind of effort to break it loose, but this should work. So this is so stupid. But the same long extension bar that I told you about the other side, it also works on this side. I spent about an hour trying to take that bolt off, and then another hour trying to figure out how to get that off, where, this would have, oh my god, this is just perfect engineering at its finest. Like, there's barely a gap between the torsion bar and the frame, and then it goes all the way up, barely a gap between the cat, and then right there, oh my god, this is crazy. But yeah, you could do that with like a long extension and put a breaker bar at the end, and then it should be good. But after you take off the bottom bolts, first to show one of my flanks step came off, but the other one bolt came off. So the bolt is still in there, the stud is still in there. But pretty much it's gonna be a tight fit. There's gonna be a small tiny, like I have it removed now, like there's gonna be a small amount of gap between the case and the manifold. So what I did was I wedged this breaker bar in there. I don't know how damaging what I just did is to the exhaust and all the stuff, but pretty much just wedged it in there between the gasket and the manifold. I kind of pushed it out because when I was doing it with my hand, only one side came out, so just pushed it out, and then all the bolts should come out of the manifold, or clear the manifold, and the bottom, the back ones are still gonna be like not cleared, so just wedge it between there, then pull it off, and it should come right off, or it should rotate since we have the starter tab removed. The exhaust should maneuver right through that hole, that gap right there. You can see that. You can see right under that white pipe. That's where the starter leads the engine case. But yeah, it should maneuver right. The manifold can be put in through this way since we taken off this, and there's enough gap for it to go through. But you gotta be careful if you're putting it this way for this little vacuum hose or whatever that is, and the wires right there. But it is doable through here. You just gotta maneuver it kind of, and it's doable. And so what I did was I bolted up the manifold nuts. Let's see if it picks up on here. First, I just put up the corner, and this one for the white pipe, where the manifold meets into the white pipe. I was, while I was putting the bolt in on the corners, I was putting the gasket on, and I just have all the bolts up on the manifold right now, and I got these flange studs that I have to put in through there, because I realized it would be easier to do that way after I put it in and put the flange studs in there. So what I found out is there's a long side and a small thread side. So there's a small thread right here and a long thread right here. This goes into the manifold, and this side sticks out pretty much. So I'll put the nut on there and then kind of screw it in there. You have to wiggle it around a little bit to get it to line up. I had to play with it around for about 10 minutes to get it to line up. Afterwards, tighten everything to torque spec from my 98 Montero. That little stud bolt right there was about 18 foot-pounds. Yeah. These manifold nuts were about 22 foot-pounds, and the heat shield 3 bolts, that's that one, and then there's the second one and the third one somewhere over there. Those are about like 9 foot-pounds, I believe. So yeah, tighten everything up, and then hopefully everything should be good to go. And don't forget to reinstall your vacuum actuator bolts in the starter if you move those, which I'm going to do now. So after tightening up that one and the other one over there, the studs, the flange studs, how are you going to tighten up the way that you're going to tighten up the heat shield is, it's hard to do it from here. I tried it like for 15 minutes. It's hard because you got to guess how you put it in there, and it's really, really hella hard. So another way that I found out is by taking off the wheel and right in this little gap, if you look closely, I can't even see. Yeah, if you look closely, there's the heat shield, and we have one bolted up. Here we have one of it bolted up right there. It took me less than 5 minutes to jack it up. We jacked it underneath and put it in here. It was about 15-20 minutes, I want to say. I'm trying to get it on the other side, but this one's way faster, so that's how you tighten up the heat shield. I think it was about 9 foot-pounds, so hand tight, and then like probably a turn after hand tight, a little bit more than like snugs, I would say. Yeah. That's all the hurdles that I had to go through to take off the passenger side. Yeah, the passenger side manifold. So there's a massive crack on mine. You can see it, so it's like a cross right there. Massive crack across the whole thing. I'm guessing it's due to a lot of oil leak, and then over time, it's kind of made it worse. Because as you can see, all that dirt and grime and stuff on there. Yeah. So that's the before, and here's the kind of after. You can see the heat shield on there, but yeah, everything good so far. Before I put the heat shield on, I turned the car on to make sure there's no leaks or anything like that, and everything was good so far. So that's everything. That's how to change your passenger side exhaust manifold.